Hey everyone, I'm Jay.
I'm Sean.
And this is Fudgy. Hi Fudgy. Hi Bronx. Bronx and Herbie are running around here too. Apologies. They're just so excited for today's video about the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
Just kidding. We are actually not Knicks fans. We are fans of New York City and going to see Madison Square Garden when we're there.
That's right.
But we put on my favorite sports shirt in honor of Sean's favorite sports movies.
Yeah. Is it your only sports shirt?
No, it was this for the Patriots.
Oh yeah, good choice.
You know how I feel about the Patriots. Yeah. And then I think I have a Chicago hat. Maybe.
Oh yeah, you do.
Maybe even a San Francisco hat.
You also have a San Francisco hat.
But anyways.
All places that we've been. So
Yeah.
Cubs game, Giants game, Patriots game, and more. We go see our basketball quite a bit, and then baseball in the summer for a round.
Yep. But usually you get the t-shirts and
It's true.
the beer.
Yeah, and lots of beer. That's
Yeah.
right. So my favorite sports movie.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did a quick top 10 list. It is
Oh, boy.
not comprehensive, but
Okay.
I think it's good.
Okay.
I think these are all movies that maybe even non-sports fans can enjoy.
Oh, let's put it to the test. Hit me.
Okay, number 10
Yeah.
is Major League, which you probably hate actually.
Okay.
I don't know if I made you watch that.
Well, how many of our sentences start with that?
A lot.
Okay.
I loved Major League as a kid
Why?
because it's about the Cleveland Indians who
Who we've seen.
we have seen, and they were terrible
Okay.
in the 80s. They were the worst team in baseball.
Oh my god.
And so they are the perfect team to be in this movie about an owner who purposely wants to throw the season so that she can move the team to Miami.
Okay.
So she can get out of the stadium lease if they do badly enough, if they have a low enough attendance. So her plan is to pick all of these loser, journeymen, just no one washed up old guys, a horrible team who is supposed to lose every game, and then she'll be able to go to Miami and be in a nicer city. I don't know why she doesn't just sell the teams for nothing, because even nothing would be enough to buy a nice place in Miami. But she does.
Also, like, I don't think as an owner you have to live in the city,
Also true.
you know.
Yeah. Also true.
Your responsibilities are as few as you want them to be. I'm pretty sure you hire people to, make the hot dogs.
Yeah. Anyway, between Charlie Sheen as Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn, Tom Berenger as the catcher, and Wesley Snipes as Willie Mays Hayes, the guy who just can't hit.
Everybody.
I forget Tom Berenger's character's name,
It's
but
fine.
anyway, it doesn't really matter. They turn it around, and they find out about this plan, and because
hurt their
they want it
feelings.
bad enough, they start winning. And this is
Oh
the
my
story
gosh.
of this team that no one believed in except they believed in themselves.
Wow. Heartwarming stuff.
A little bit. So that's Major League, and it's quite funny. It's a good comedy.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Number 9.
Number 9.
Another comedy, which you will guaranteed have enjoyed. Happy Gilmore!
Oh, okay.
So
All
Happy
right.
Gilmore is an Adam Sandler movie. That's one of Jay's favorites because she loves Adam and she loves great movies. Where Happy Gilmore is a failed
Hockey
player who just randomly stumbles into golf.
Yeah, because not randomly. The thing is, he can't really skate, but he's got a great slap shot. So somebody tells him he needs to channel that into golfing. Of course, he thinks golfing's for,
Babies.
well, quite the opposite. Old fogies, really. But yes, he rises to the top, becoming the bad boy of golf. I don't know if golf really needed that, but he's definitely an outlier. And yeah, I'm glad to see it on the list.
Oh,
Sure.
good. Well, I'm glad that you enjoy it on the list. Number 8,
Yes, please.
Field of Dreams.
Okay. Okay.
So this is a very wishy-washy, inspirational movie about just how wonderful a game baseball is. And I'm not sure I go that far, but I liked baseball as a kid. Even though I could not make it through a full game without getting bored. I still enjoyed the concept of it and collecting baseball
I know,
cards.
because I've seen the stats that your brother kept on
we
you
kept stats in our little street league.
a whole magazine was published with those stats.
Yeah, we had a set of baseball cards as well.
And it seems like you were quite the hitter.
Well, when I was playing against like 8-year-olds, yeah, I was really good as a teenager. Otherwise, I wasn't very good at baseball.
Well, they idolized you, Sean.
Yeah, they
Very
did.
sweet.
It was nice. We had fun. And so Field of Dreams is basically the story of Kevin Costner just lamenting the loss of his father, who was a minor league baseball player. So because he was always on the road, he wasn't around. And then he died quite young.
Okay.
So for whatever reason, Kevin Costner gets visited by ghosts. I think the ghost of Shoeless Joe Jackson,
Oh boy.
who inspire him to build a baseball field in his cornfield in Iowa. And he does.
Okay.
And it's a real place. They built this field for the game, for the movie, but it still exists. You can go see it.
Okay.
And if it was anywhere close to anything, I would be tempted. But
Would you know?
it's not.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't even know if I've seen this movie, and I don't really know that I need to fix that. But between this and Shawshank Redemption was every man's favorite movie. Is one of those two movies. Those are the two movies that men are allowed to cry at, or at least have feelings for. I guess because it's sports. Men have always, like, sports is the one thing that men are allowed to be passionate about, care about, have feelings about. It's like for whatever reason,
It's a safe zone.
yeah. So this was that movie.
It is that
For
movie.
a lot of young men.
Yeah, not really for me. It was never my favorite movie. It's number 8 favorite movie.
That's right.
Number 7, I cheated a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah,
Who could imagine such a thing?
I know. So number 7 is Rocky / Creed.
Okay, I see.
Okay? So Rocky, the original Oscar Best Picture winner Rocky, is not my favorite movie. I probably enjoy that. Well, number 2 is not great. But of the Rocky franchise, I would rather watch 3 and 4, probably not 5, but 6 is even pretty good. But Creed is great. And you can't get to Creed without Rocky.
You can. Actually, you can. You can watch it without knowing a single thing about Rocky, and it'll be still a pleasurable experience.
That is true.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid. You don't buy into that. You don't have to sit through all of those to get there.
That's true. Creed is actually a great movie. Rocky is not. It does not hold up, but it is sort of the original underdog story that has been copied and copied endlessly. So maybe that's why it just doesn't hold up so well, because we have seen it 100 times since and seen it better. And Creed is a prime example of that.
Okay.
But I do think they belong on this list. You can't have a list of sports movies without a Rocky entrant. Number 6, The Wrestler.
Oh my gosh, I love that one.
I know you love that movie.
I love that movie.
That movie is in our DVD collection. And I believe it came into our house because Jay owned it, not because I owned it.
That's right.
It is a wonderful movie starring Mickey Rourke as a totally washed up has-been who is trying to get his life back together. And Marissa Tomei has a real comeback role in this. And I I was just astounded by this movie when I saw it. I was not expecting to like this nearly as much as I did.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, he plays a very aging wrestler, and his body is destroyed. I think, interestingly, she plays a stripper. So they both have used their bodies to earn their living, and the thing about growing older is that body gives out, and so they're both facing that in different ways. And I think for him, so much of his identity comes from, you know, this not just career, but really a role that he has played and lived in those shoes and tried to live up to that character for so long that he doesn't know who he'd be without it. And so rather than maybe make better decisions, he's going to press on even against the wisdom. So it is a heartbreaker. It is beautiful work character-wise. It's really extraordinary.
And just as a companion piece, a documentary about real wrestlers who go through, like, the wrestler is really authentic feeling in how all of these guys have just destroyed their bodies. Beyond the Mat is an excellent documentary that has a number of stories of aged out wrestlers, including Mick Foley, who is Mankind from the WWE, and Jake the Snake Roberts, who is also in WWF at the time. Just really, like, sad stories about these guys.
Yeah.
And
well, I think also, like, obviously the prevalent sort of feeling is, you know, wrestling is fake. And while that is true, they are actually putting their bodies sometimes through more hardship to pull off a stunt. You know, it is very taxing. It is very, even because it's choreographed doesn't mean it's not taking
it's
a
rigged,
big toll.
But they're beating each other up, and they are landing on things like leaping off of 20-foot high things and landing on their faces, and you can't do that.
Good boy.
You just can't.
Yeah.
Number 5 on my list.
Yes.
Is A League of Their Own.
Okay, another one that I approve of.
I thought you would. It's just Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, Madonna, among others.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Lori Petty. A bunch of people from the 90s.
A lot of people. I love that Tom Hanks is playing against type here. You know, people love him for being like such an everyman and like a happy guy, and I mean, you know.
Yeah, he's just a bitter old man.
He is. He's so mad. He really
doesn't want to be here.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't want to be coaching ladies.
No, he does not. Too many ladies.
It's a really, really funny movie. It is just a wonderful ensemble film. I can't say enough good things about it. And it's a sports movie.
It sure is
a sports movie at its core, but it's different than your typical sports movie.
Yes, I think, you know, it's based on a true story, and I think its context is as important as the sport. You know, really, we don't see, and certainly in the 90s, we didn't see enough of this kind of movie about sort of the forgotten women of history. Because women's stories are just not important enough to tell. But when the men are away,
and so this is during World War II, and it is a women's professional baseball league to take the place of, you know, men's professional baseball, which is essentially shut down.
Yeah. So not only are they learning to play at a certain level, they're learning to take the place of men, and the fans don't like it, really. Tom Hanks is not the only one to have his doubts about this. So it is more than just learning a sport. It's sort of living in that shadow. And, you know, they're not just historical figures, they're like people who actually lived at the time and had brothers and husbands and whatnot overseas themselves. So I think there's a lot at play for them.
And they make the most of it. They don't shy away from that aspect of it, and that probably is what makes this movie so great. Number 4 is Hoosiers. It is one of the movies I grew up with. It is about a small town team in Indiana where Gene Hackman comes and turns them around, and well, I think they're always good, but there is a pressure on them to win. And because that's all this little town, Hickory, has. They don't have anything else. And it is another, you know, straight out of the how-to sports movie template of put this team together, and there's the guy who doesn't really want to be there, who the coach has to win over, and he has to figure out a way to, you know, make that happen. And there's the other guy who's never really been as good as he should have been, and he'll probably get his moment to shine. And yeah, everyone will get their moment to shine because I think there's like 6 kids on this team.
Is there a training montage?
No, there's not. Not exactly.
Okay.
Not the way that we are used to today.
Okay. How about an inspiring locker room speech?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's probably 3 or 4 of
good
those.
thing.
Yeah.
Oof.
Number 3 is Rudy.
Okay.
So Sean Astin as a wannabe football player who just doesn't have much going for him other than his desire. He's not big enough, he's not fast enough, he's not talented enough. He's always wanted to play for Notre Dame. And this is his story of how he makes it happen, based on a true story. Also, the movie that introduced Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn to each other. Both of them have little parts as Rudy's teammates.
Okay.
And it is another by the book, feel good film.
Okay.
But it'll make you feel good.
All right.
Number 2, we've talked about this one before. The Karate Kid.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Bronx, can you believe what he's doing to me?
And you talk about a montage. The Karate Kid has one of the greatest montages of all time. It's not a training montage, it's a winning montage.
Oh wow, arguably the best kind of montage there is.
Yep. It's just Daniel Russo carving through the competition at the Valley Tournament as he just tries to get to fight Johnny, the big bad guy. And spoiler alert, he wins.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Just one of the great movies from my childhood that everyone did and still does the crane kick. My nephew does the crane kick.
Yes.
It's just one of those things that you learn how to do because it's awesome. My number 1 movie is Hoop Dreams.
Ooh, okay.
This is one of the best documentaries and one of the best hands down movies that I have ever seen. It is amazing.
Pretty incredible what they cover.
They cover more than 4 years of these kids' lives, and they are kids because they start with them in grade 8, as they are 2 kids who are the next big thing in basketball. They are the players that are in demand, that are being scouted by high schools, and then being made all sorts of promises by the coaches that if they come to their school, they'll have the best opportunity to make it to a good college, and then on to the NBA, and your families will be set for life, and don't you owe it to your families to do that? It is a really, really awful world to be putting these 12-year-old kids into, but that is the system that so many wannabes are in, and then they're just spit out at various points along the way when there's another next big thing that's come along and another player that is now the player to have.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about sports. They use you.
Yeah.
They use you. They don't really care about you. They didn't really care about your family, spoiler alert. But certainly they're not above pushing that button, especially for some of these players coming from impoverished backgrounds, where these dreams are more than just career, but maybe even saving my family.
Yeah, it's an escape. It is, absolutely. There is a way out of poverty, and it is to become a professional athlete. I mean, the other way is to become a criminal, really. Like, those are the two classic options that are sold to a lot of these kids.
Yeah.
And this is the story, as I said, of these two kids who are really coming from similar backgrounds, where they have good families, but they just don't have any money or a lot of options. And it really is amazing to watch just these stories play out. Again, they did a fantastic job of putting this together. They have, 4+ years of footage. They make it into a really compelling movie about these two kids, and there is a story that will sweep you up. You really care about these kids, and you want to see how it turns out for them.
And how does it turn out, Sean? Do you know, are any of them in the NBA now?
No.
Nobody.
No, and that is a coda at the end. They do go into that a bit. I believe they both played in college, but they didn't go beyond that. So it was not the way that it was supposed to be for either of them, which I think makes the movie really that much more true. To say that they picked these kids because they were the ones that had a great shot. But that's how it goes.
Yes, and that is how it will end for most people. Even most really good kids, you're the best, not just at your school, but in your district. It's still going to end up that way for most of them, and it is a good thing to be able to show that and be honest about it.
Yes, it is. I do think this is the reality of that dream, that hoop dream, is that most people, that's all it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it astounds me. This is a very, very American thing, and as Canadians, we don't have it and don't even really understand it, but there is a lot of money for sports and no money for schools. And, if even a small fraction of the sports money trickled down to education, then that would make more choices for more students and more options beyond just lightning in a bottle hoop dreams.
Yes, that's a better way. It is. The money that is spent on sports could be spent so much better to benefit actual students instead of the institutions and the advertisers that are behind it all.
Yeah. Well, Sean, that's a very good list. Do you want to hear my list?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we have to take Happy Gilmore off because you already did it. Good for you. You could throw in The Longest Yard.
Oh, yeah.
Which is another Adam Sandler sports movie. Or, and go ahead and veto this, I would put The Waterboy.
Yeah.
Above even The Longest Yard, which I do like. The Longest Yard is about a bunch of prisoners who play football as sort of a release. And The Waterboy is about the guy who could never make the team and can barely hope to be a water boy. Doesn't really realize that he's the butt of the joke. Or, yeah, did I say that right? Yeah. But a weirdly sweet character.
Waterboy, I agree with. I think that's a better movie than The Longest Yard. They're both good.
Okay.
But The Waterboy is a good sports movie. It really is. And Bobby Boucher is a one-of-a-kind character, as only Adam Sandler could do.
My goodness, isn't that true? Black Swan, I'm gonna put in there.
Very good movie.
Yes. And another one where I think ballet is perhaps not always given credit for.
It's very physical and very demanding.
And yes, those people are athletes of the highest order.
Absolutely.
Putting their bodies through all kinds of ridiculous
Horrible
things.
stuff.
Yes.
And Black Swan does a good job of showing that side of it. And the effect that that's going to have on someone.
That's right. I mean, this is another one, like all of these sports, where very few people are going to make it to the point where you can actually make money doing it. And if you do, it's for very few years, you know, and you have to put you will be paying that price for the rest of your life.
Yep.
You know, your body, if you played football for 2 years, you will feel it for the rest of your life. If you did ballet and you had to retire at the age of 24, you will feel it for the rest of your life. And this is such a great movie. Mila Kunis and Natalie Portman in a ridiculous role of just, you know, fighting to be number one, because this is a very competitive world where, again, like Hoop Dreams, very few make it, and we don't often see all of the crushed dreams. But in this, we see even the people who do make it, you know, it comes at a cost, and maybe it's not worth paying.
Yeah.
So next I would put The Cutting Edge.
Oh, that's a classic one.
Yes, it was for me and my sisters growing up.
I watched that movie a bunch.
Yeah, it's a fun one. It's about a very privileged young woman who wants to skate competitively. She wants to go to the Olympics.
In pairs figure skating.
Yes, but nobody is good enough to skate with her.
She goes through partners.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
What? I don't even know that there's a comparison. Just one after the other after the other.
So it takes, again, a washed up hockey player.
That's right.
To finally be equal to her. Of course, he has to learn how to skate.
Yes.
I mean, he's not bad on skates. He just, I mean, figure skates really are very different from hockey skates. And it's a very different mentality, obviously. But
and they have a toe pick.
That's right. That is right. So I just love that movie. I love that we get to go to the Olympics with them and see it through. And if you like that, then watch I, Tonya.
Oh, that's great.
Such a good movie. Really smartly written. Again, Tonya Harding, based on a real person who really went to the Olympics.
It's a crazy story.
It is a crazy story.
It's kind of been lost in the ages because it's another 90s story.
Yes.
Tonya Harding versus Nancy Kerrigan. That was a huge rivalry and it got nasty. It got so bad.
It got really out of hand. Yeah.
I, Tonya is the story
it's
of
a great
that.
story. Margot Robbie, Allison Janney are super, super terrific in it. Sebastian Stan. Do check it out. Now for my number one is a movie not many people have seen, and you may not consider a sports movie. It is Paddleton. So Paddleton,
I don't know if I know that one.
you super do. We watched it together. It's a Netflix movie starring Ray Romano and
Oh yeah,
Mark Duplass. So they are friends. They live in the same apartment complex, and they're both kind of single, sad men who go out and they've invented a game called Paddleton.
At the old drive-in.
Yes. So they play that game together a lot, and their friendship sort of evolves because they don't have a very close friendship until one of them gets sick. And because they're sort of very sad and single men, neither of them has many friends or even family members around. So they kind of become each other's family during this time of crisis. But what I really love, besides the wonderful game of Paddleton, is Ray Romano's character is obsessed with doing the locker room
The motivational
speech.
halftime speech.
And so he doesn't know this, but in Mark Duplass's apartment, he can often hear him rehearsing these speeches. So he knows. So he's always encouraging, like, is there something? Are you ready yet? And it's never ready. It's never ready, but it is always evolving, and it's kind of wonderful.
It is. I forgot about that movie, but it is very sweet. Mm-hmm. I would not have even thought of it on this list, but it is a sports movie in a couple of ways. Mm-hmm. It works really well, and Mark Duplass and Ray Romano are both excellent. Ray Romano really has become such a great character actor.
Yes, this is his renaissance. These last couple of years, he's had so many great roles in The Big Sick, of course. He was wonderful. He was just in The Irishman. So, I said that weird, The Irishman, as I like to call it.
He's a superhero now.
Anyways, yeah, I just want to put that out there. Paddleton, I think, is pretty great. I think it's nice. It's a low-key, men bonding over a sport. Men like to do activities, and they've kept it light until suddenly it's a little less
Get
light.
serious.
Yeah. So I like both of them in it. They have a great chemistry, and I think it's a movie that needs to be seen more.
Thanks, babe. Good list by you.
Yeah, that's right. I watch sports movies too, Sean.
Of course you
Look
do.
at that. Ha, ha, ha.
Great work. Number 1.
Yes. I can't believe Days of Thunder was not in your list.
It's on a long list.
Okay.
Yeah, I have
All
to cut it down.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I mean, I even want to kind of put The Big Lebowski in mine.
Oh, that's a great one too.
Yes. I love that movie. I love the bowling scenes. They just feel... it just feels kind of like you would find that in any bowling alley.
Yeah, it does.
It's just like a slightly amped up, probably not even that much amped up version.
I feel there's a lot of truth to those scenes, yeah.
Yes. And they're just fun characters, whether they're in the bowling alley or outside of the alley.
Yeah, they are.
It's always a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. That's a good little
It's a great
bonus
rainy
one.
day movie.
Yeah. Well, thanks, babe. All right.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for now.
Okay, now I don't have to wear my sports shirt
No,
anymore.
not anymore.
Let's
Although
get
you
to
still
go back
can.
in the closet for another 4 years.
Well, until
But
next
I
time.
gave it a
then.
good airing out this
Yeah.
time, so yes.
Great work.
Thumbs up.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.